Past Estevan resident Chris Henderson was back in town last Friday night to entertain the residents during the Estevan Lives Rider Pride Cabaret. Henderson has been playing for many years and tells us when he got his first break into the music scene.
I had just kind of started doing country music, and my father tried and convinced me to sign up for a contest in Regina. It's called the Big Country Talent Search, and it's sponsored by CKRM. And that was back in 2006. And so I hadn't really done much country at that point, but I started doing a little bit of it and entered this contest and won, and ended up releasing a single to country radio as the prize for this song. So suddenly I was getting phone calls for gigs, and I didn't have a band, definitely not a country band anyway, at the time. And one of them in particular was at the Saskatchewan Country Music Awards in 2000, and that would have been 7 now. And so I was working with the keyboard player at the time. She's a teacher as well. I was teaching in Fillmore. And so I asked her to play, and she introduced me to the bass player, who introduced us to the guitar player, and we hired another drummer, and away we went. We shook hands and rehearsed a couple of times and started gigging, and we've been together ever since, pretty much.
After winning the contest through CKRM, Henderson was soon on his way to Nashville.
Actually, that contest and that single release is actually what led me down to Nashville to do my first album. After it was released, I had a few different producers contact me, and one of them was Cyril Rawson, who has done a ton of writing, huge credits. I mean, he's done writing for Keith Urban. He recently wrote a Brad Johnner song that Brad cut. So he's a very, very good writer. And he invited me down, and I ended up talking to a bunch of other people. And just kind of as a result of that song and the attention that it garnered for us, I ended up going down and cutting the debut record. And yeah, it was just some opportunities to play with some musicians down there that it was just hooked up by people who'd heard this one song and were impressed. So it was very fortunate, very lucky.
During his time down there, he was able to meet some amazing people and give his music a different perspective.
When you work with people, like, for example, one of the people I got to work with is Brent Mason, and he's one of the most heralded guitar players in history. He's actually famous. Probably the most famous thing is the Chattahoochee guitar lick. He's the guy playing it. And when you see guys of that caliber playing and living and breathing music in a city like Nashville, you can't help but be inspired. I came home and wrote like 4 songs in the first week I was back, and I talked to other artists, and they always say the same thing. You go down there and it's a life where they just live and breathe music, and it's what they love, and it's what they do, and it's something that I think every musician strives to try and do, is achieve that kind of goal where you can just wake up in the morning, and my job today is to do what I love.
The future is looking bright for the Chris Henderson Band. They are in the works of getting their second album started in February and gearing up for another contest, with the grand prize being $20,000. For more information on Henderson, you can check out his website, chrishendersonmusic.com. For the EstevanMercury.ca, I'm Janelle Butler.